The British royal family has long been a symbol of tradition, elegance, and unshakable power, but behind their carefully crafted public image lies a world of secrets, scandals, and unsolved mysteries. Buried family secrets reveal that there is more to the monarchy than meets the eye. These hidden stories, some forgotten and others purposefully concealed, paint a very different picture of the royals than what the public is used to seeing. Ready to dive deep into the murky waters of royal intrigue? Here are 20 mysterious and dark secrets about the UK royals that you don't know. One of the most bizarre and chilling conspiracy theories surrounding the royal family is the claim that Prince Albert Victor, Queen Victoria's grandson, was Jack the Ripper. During the late 19th century, the infamous serial killer terrorized London's Whitechapel district, and over time, rumors emerged linking the prince, also known as Eddie, to the gruesome crimes. Some speculated that he had gone mad, while others suggested a royal cover-up to protect him. However, historians and experts have completely debunked these theories. Records show that Prince Albert Victor was nowhere near Whitechapel during the murders, and there is no credible evidence linking him to the crimes. Despite this, the theory has persisted in books and films, something the royal family would rather avoid being associated with. Even though it's false, any connection between the monarchy and one of history's most notorious killers would be damaging. The fact that the rumor still lingers highlights how the royals remain a subject of intrigue, speculation, and mystery. One of the most tragic and little-known figures in British royal history is Prince John, the youngest son of King George V and Queen Mary. Born in 1905, John was diagnosed with severe epilepsy at a young age. As his condition worsened, he was gradually removed from public life and sent to live at Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate, cared for by his governess and a small household staff. For years, the royal family kept his existence largely hidden, fearing that his illness would be seen as a weakness. When he died from a seizure at just 13 years old, the palace issued a brief statement, and his death was quietly mourned. Some believe he was deliberately erased from royal memory, making him the lost prince. His secluded life and the lack of public acknowledgement fueled speculation and mystery, leading many to question how far the royal family would go to protect their image, even if it meant hiding one of their own. As you'll see later, the UK royal family became quite the experts at erasing the people who didn't quite fit in. Despite being seen as the ultimate symbol of British heritage, the royal family's bloodline is far from purely British. In fact, their lineage is deeply tied to Germany. The current House of Windsor was originally known as the House of Saxe-Coburg and Gotha, a German dynasty that came into the British monarchy through Prince Albert, the husband of Queen Victoria. For generations, British monarchs had German roots, with King George I speaking little English when he took the throne in 1714. During World War I, anti-German sentiment in Britain was so strong that King George V was forced to rebrand the family, changing its name from Saxe-Coburg and Gotha to the much more English-sounding House of Windsor in 1917. Even today, the royal family has German ancestry through Prince Philip, who was born into the Germanic House of Schleswig-Holstein-Sonderburg-Glucksburg. While the monarchy presents itself as distinctly British, its past reveals a far more European heritage than many realize. In recent years, Prince Andrew has been at the center of one of the biggest controversies to ever hit the royal family. His association with Jeffrey Epstein led to serious scrutiny, with allegations and lawsuits bringing intense public and media attention. In a widely criticized 2019 BBC interview, Andrew attempted to defend himself but only raised more questions, leading to his withdrawal from public royal duties. The royal family has since distanced itself from him, stripping him of his military titles and patronages in an apparent effort to protect the monarchy's reputation. While Buckingham Palace has remained largely silent, the controversy remains a shadow over the institution. Many believe the royals are keen to minimize discussions about Andrew, as it challenges the carefully maintained image of the family. Though no longer a working royal, he remains a point of contention, and efforts to keep the scandal out of the spotlight suggest how far the monarchy will go to avoid damaging revelations. Even now, he remains one of the most problematic members of the royal family and someone who could unravel the carefully managed image of the monarchy. Before becoming a husband, father, and advocate, Prince Harry was known as the rebellious royal with a wild streak. His younger years were filled with headline-grabbing antics, from partying in Las Vegas, where leaked photos of him playing strip billiards made international news, to his controversial choice to wear a Nazi uniform to a costume party in 2005, which sparked outrage. His love for a good time often put him at odds with the carefully controlled image of the royal family. While Harry later admitted his mistakes and took responsibility for his actions, the palace likely wasn't thrilled about the negative press. The monarchy relies on a sense of dignity and tradition, and Harry's youthful escapades were far from the composed and polished image they prefer to project. Though he has since turned his focus to philanthropy and family life, his past remains a reminder that even royals can have a rebellious side, something the family might prefer to leave in the past. The British royal family has long been closely tied to the Church of England, with the reigning monarch serving as its supreme governor. However, the Church of England's origins are far from purely religious. In fact, it was born out of one of the most scandalous chapters in royal history. In the 16th century, King Henry VII broke away from the Roman Catholic Church not because of theological differences but because the Pope refused to grant him a divorce from his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Desperate for a male heir, Henry established the Church of England, giving himself the authority to annul his own marriage. This move led to the dissolution of monasteries, the execution of those who opposed him, and a dramatic shift in England's religious landscape. While the modern royal family takes great pride in its role within the Church of England, its foundation was built on personal ambition and political power rather than faith alone. It's a history they don't often highlight despite the monarchy's continued influence over the Church today. One of the most unexpected and eerie connections in royal history is King Charles III's ancestral link to Vlad the Impaler, the 15th-century ruler of Wallachia known for his brutal tactics and as the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. Through his mother, Queen Elizabeth II, Charles is a distant descendant of Vlad III, making the British monarch part of a bloodline tied to one of history's most infamous figures. Though this connection has been acknowledged by Charles himself, he even joked about it while promoting conservation efforts in Romania. It's not a detail the royal family widely publicizes. Vlad was known for his extreme cruelty, impaling enemies on stakes and ruling with an iron fist, which isn't exactly in line with the modern monarchy's carefully managed image. While the link is purely historical and Charles is hardly a modern-day vampire, the idea that the King of England shares ancestry with a figure so closely tied to horror and legend adds a dark and mysterious twist to royal history. One of the strangest and most persistent rumors about the royal family suggests that Queen Camilla secured her place on the throne through a supernatural pact. Some conspiracy theorists claimed that her rise from being Charles's mistress to queen was no coincidence, that she supposedly made a deal with the devil himself to ensure her destiny. The idea stems from the dramatic twists in her royal journey, from being vilified in the press to eventually being crowned alongside King Charles III. Adding fuel to the rumor is her reported interest in mysticism as well as the uncanny way obstacles seemed to disappear over time. Once dismissed as the other woman, Camilla's gradual acceptance by the public and eventual title as queen consort seemed almost too perfectly orchestrated for some. Of course, there's no evidence to support these claims, but the story has taken on a life of its own. Whether you believe in dark forces or not, the idea of a royal pact with the devil certainly adds a mysterious twist to her legacy. For decades, King Charles III's love life has been a topic of fascination and speculation. While his affair with Camilla Parker Bowles during his marriage to Princess Diana is well documented, some rumors suggest that his extramarital activities didn't stop even after marrying Camilla. Whispers in elite circles claim that Charles has maintained discreet relationships over the years, carefully hidden from public view. These rumors have never been proven, but conspiracy theorists point to his history, questioning whether old habits truly die hard. Some even believe that certain royal aides have been tasked with ensuring these alleged affairs remain secret, protecting the monarchy's image at all costs. The palace, of course, has never addressed such claims, and there's no evidence to support them. Still, the idea that the King of England might have continued his romantic entanglements long after the world thought he had settled down adds a layer of mystery to his reign, one the royal family would undoubtedly prefer to keep out of the spotlight. One of the darkest chapters in royal history involves King Edward VIII and his troubling ties to Nazi Germany. After abdicating the throne in 1936 to marry Wallis Simpson, Edward, then given the title Duke of Windsor, became a growing concern for the British government. He and Wallis were known to have sympathies toward Adolf Hitler, even visiting the dictator in 1937 and giving him a friendly salute. During World War II, British intelligence discovered that the Nazis saw Edward as a potential puppet ruler should they successfully invade Britain. Secret files later revealed that Nazi officials had drafted plans to reinstate him as king in hopes of securing an alliance. The royal family has long distanced itself from this dark association, and Edward's wartime behavior remains a deeply uncomfortable part of their history. While he spent the rest of his life in relative exile, the lingering question of how far his Nazi connections truly went is one the monarchy would prefer to keep buried. One of the most shocking royal betrayals in history was King George V's refusal to grant asylum to his first cousin and close friend, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. As the Russian Revolution erupted in 1917, Nicholas and his family were in grave danger. Initially, Britain extended an offer of refuge, but George V later withdrew it. Despite their strong family ties, the decision was largely political, with anti-monarchy sentiment rising in Britain and fears that sheltering the Russian royals could spark unrest. George prioritized the survival of his own throne over saving his cousin. Without British protection, Nicholas, his wife Alexandra, and their 5 children were captured by the Bolsheviks and executed in 1918. For years, the royal family kept quiet about George's role in denying asylum, and many believe it remains a stain on his legacy. Though his choice may have been driven by necessity, the fact that he let his own bloodline perish to protect his reign is a dark secret the monarchy would rather forget. Princess Margaret's romance with Group Captain Peter Townsend was one of the most heartbreaking royal scandals of the 20th century. Townsend, a decorated war hero and equerry to King George VI, fell in love with Margaret, and she with him. However, there was one problem: he was divorced. At the time, the Church of England, closely tied to the monarchy, frowned upon remarriage after divorce. Because Margaret was under 25, she needed her sister, Queen Elizabeth II's, permission to marry him. Despite their deep love, the Queen, bound by duty and government pressure, was forced to deny her request. Margaret faced an agonizing choice: marry Townsend and give up her royal privileges, or remain a princess and end the relationship. Ultimately, in 1955, she announced that she would not marry him, devastating the public. The royal family rarely speaks of the affair, but many believe it was a defining moment in Margaret's life, one that revealed the monarchy's unwavering commitment to tradition, even at the expense of personal happiness. Queen Victoria and Prince Albert are often remembered for their deep love story, but one detail that's often overlooked is that they were first cousins. Both were grandchildren of King George III, making their union one of royal blood but also one that might be frowned upon today. At the time, cousin marriages were common among European royalty to maintain dynastic ties, but modern views on genetics and inbreeding make the match seem far less romantic. Despite their close relation, Victoria and Albert had a famously devoted marriage, raising 9 children together and shaping the monarchy for generations. However, some historians speculate that their shared genes contributed to the health issues seen in their descendants, including the spread of hemophilia, a genetic disorder that afflicted many of their royal relatives across Europe. When Albert died in 1861, Victoria went into deep mourning for the rest of her life, wearing black for decades. While their love story is celebrated, the fact that they were so closely related is a lesser-known and somewhat uncomfortable detail in royal history. Robert Dudley, one of Queen Elizabeth I's closest confidants, was rumored to have had a long-standing affair with the Queen. Their bond was famously intimate, and many believed they were deeply in love. However, the relationship was complicated by the fact that Dudley was already married to Amy Robsart, a lady of noble birth. In 1560, Amy was found dead at the bottom of a staircase in her home, with her neck broken. Her death was officially ruled an accident, but the circumstances were highly suspicious. Some historians suggest that Elizabeth's jealousy and Dudley's ambitions for power may have played a darker role in Amy's demise. Rumors circulated that Dudley was involved in her death to free himself from his wife, allowing him to marry Elizabeth. While there is no solid evidence to support this theory, the scandal of Amy's death and Dudley's controversial relationship with the Queen remained a shadow over the royal court. Rumors continued to swirl long into Elizabeth's reign. We've already seen how the royal family is good at hiding away members of the family that don't quite fit in, but the case of Catherine and Nerissa is the one that perhaps casts the darkest shadow over the royal family. Princess Catherine and her sister, Princess Nerissa, were relatives of Queen Elizabeth II, but their existence was largely hidden from the public for much of their lives. Born in the early 20th century, they were the daughters of Princess Victoria, the Queen's aunt, and were known to have severe learning disabilities. As young women, Catherine and Nerissa were quietly kept away from the public eye, living in seclusion for much of their lives. It's believed that the royal family, in an effort to protect the monarchy's image, chose to hide their existence and avoid public scrutiny over their condition, so much so that the sisters were listed in the 1963 edition of Burke's Peerage, a reference book to the nation's aristocracy, as having died in 1940 when, in fact, they were both still alive. The sisters were institutionalized for much of their lives, with their status as royal family members largely forgotten until later years. The royal family's decision to hide Catherine and Nerissa reflects the darker side of royal duty, one where family members were kept out of sight to protect the reputation of the crown, a secret that remained largely concealed for decades. Before her ex-husband found himself in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons, Sarah Ferguson was the one feeling the pressure from the royal family. The Duchess of York has long been one of the most controversial members of the British royal family. Her divorce from Prince Andrew in 1996 didn't end her connection to the monarchy, but over the years, her behavior in various business ventures has kept her in the media spotlight, often for the wrong reasons. More recently, rumors swirled that Sarah and Andrew were rekindling their relationship after being divorced for over 20 years. However, the media was quick to take notice when Sarah was spotted with a mystery man, casting doubt on whether the couple was truly reuniting. The royal family, who have long struggled to maintain a dignified public image, likely wanted to distance themselves from the speculation, fearing further controversy would tarnish their reputation. Given Sarah's past and her non-traditional relationship with the royals, the family would have preferred to keep her personal life, especially her potential romance with another man, under wraps to avoid fueling gossip and scandals that could overshadow the crown's carefully curated image. In recent years, there have been rumors and allegations that King Charles III received large cash donations from wealthy figures, including the Prime Minister of Qatar. These donations, reportedly given to Charles's various charitable organizations, have raised eyebrows. While there is no evidence to suggest that anything unlawful occurred, the substantial amounts of money, often delivered directly to him, have sparked concern about the influence these donors may have had. The most controversial aspect of these donations is the suggestion that some individuals who contributed were later granted UK residency, leading to speculation about a quid pro quo arrangement. The royal family, which prides itself on maintaining its public image of impartiality and neutrality, would want to distance itself from any such allegations. Even though no laws were broken and the money went to charity, the situation raises uncomfortable questions about why such large sums were channeled directly to Charles and what, if any, influence donors may have hoped to gain. One of the most shocking and controversial accusations made against the British royal family came from Mohammed Al Fayed, the father of Dodi Al Fayed, who was killed alongside Princess Diana in the 1997 car crash in Paris. Mohammed Al Fayed has long claimed that the royal family orchestrated Diana's death, alleging that they couldn't accept her relationship with his son and that she was pregnant with his child. His theory suggests that the crash was no accident but rather a deliberate plot to remove Diana from the public eye. While these claims have been widely dismissed by authorities and remain unproven, they stirred significant public outrage, especially as the royal family faced heavy criticism following Diana's death. The royals, who have long been dedicated to maintaining their dignified and untarnished image, would have been keen to avoid such accusations. Al Fayed's remarks only fueled the conspiracy theories and added to the dark mysteries surrounding Diana's tragic end, which the monarchy likely hoped would fade into history. In 2024, Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales, suddenly disappeared from the public eye, sparking a wave of speculation and conspiracy theories. For weeks, no one knew her whereabouts, and rumors began circulating about a potential divorce from Prince William or even a rift within the royal family. These theories were fueled by her absence from several high-profile events, and the media was quick to fill the void with wild claims. Photos of Kate with her 3 children surfaced for Mother's Day, and keen eyes were quick to point out that something seemed off. She later admitted to the photo being altered, and shortly after, it was revealed that Kate had been privately diagnosed with cancer, explaining her absence. But the rumors didn't stop, with many wondering if there was more at play. The royals, keen to maintain a perfect image, likely preferred to keep Kate's health issues and personal matters out of the public eye to avoid fueling further gossip, especially as they involved the future king. The secrecy surrounding her disappearance only added to the mystery, as the royal family would have wanted to protect her privacy and ensure that the focus remained on their carefully curated public personas. Prince Philip, the late Duke of Edinburgh, was often rumoured to have had numerous affairs during his marriage to Queen Elizabeth II. One of the most talked about speculations involved a possible affair with the famous Russian ballerina Galina Ulanova. Though there was no concrete evidence to support this claim, their close relationship and the timing of their interaction fueled gossip among palace insiders and the press. Philip, known for his charm and flirtations, was widely regarded as a ladies' man long before and during his marriage, which led him to be linked to several different women, including Penelope Knatchbull, Countess Mountbatten of Burma. His well-documented interactions with women led to rumors of affairs that the royal family worked hard to keep under wraps. With the monarchy's focus on maintaining a dignified public image, any scandal, especially one involving the Queen's husband, would have been deeply embarrassing. The royal family likely suppressed such rumors to protect the institution's reputation. While Philip's personal life remained largely private, the whispers of his romantic entanglements remained one of the royal family's lesser-known and more mysterious secrets. Were you surprised by any of these mysterious and dark secrets about UK royals? Do you know any other interesting royal stories? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next video.